Hello everyone, welcome back to the next part of Angular routing series. In the last video, we have seen how to use router link and router link active directive. Also, we have seen the difference between href attribute and router link directive. And we have found one issue that once we enter invalid path in the URL, like instead of typing home, if I type HOM or anything and enter, then our application is getting crashed. We are getting this error. So in this series, we are going to handle this error with wildcard route, and also we are going to see once our application is load on localhost 4200, we are not rendering on any component. So for that, we need to set the default route inside our routing configuration. So in this video, we will see how to set default route as well as wildcard route. So first we will see default route. So I am inside approuting.module.ts file to define default route. And the place of default route should be the first object of routes array. What is default path? I'll write the syntax first. We can define default route in two ways. So first we can define the path is empty and the component is where we want to redirect your application when the application starts. So I want to redirect my application to home component. So this is the first way. So save the changes and go to the browser. Here you can see we didn't added any path after 4200. Still the home component is loaded once our application starts. So we will see the second way. Here also we need to set the as empty path, and the second property is redirectTo. So here we need to specify the path in which path you want to redirect your application. So you can specify home, about, contact, playlist, anything from your root configuration array. So here I want to redirect my application to home, and the third property is pathMatch. pathMatch, it will take value full. So save the changes and go to the browser. Here we can see by default it is redirecting to home component because we have added here redirect to home component. So I will show you. Once we change this about, now you can see your application will load on about component, but I want to keep it on home. So I'll replace this about with home. So hope you understood the default route. I'll repeat. To define default route in Angular, we can use an empty path as a root path in a routes array configuration. When the empty path is accessed, Angular will render the component associated with that route, like home. And we can define default route in two ways. One is this, and another is this. And what is the meaning of redirect to? If we want our application redirect to home page by default when our application starts, then you need to configure the redirect to property. This route redirects a URL that fully matches the empty path to the route whose path is home. And what is pathMatch? pathMatch is a property of Angular. pathMatch is a property of Angular root configurations, and it's specially used with the root path that contains empty segment, and its purpose is to define how Angular matches the requested URL against the configured route. Hope you understood the concept of default route. Now we can see what is wildcard route and how we can use it and what's the purpose of this. So in order to add wildcard route in your routes configuration, we need to create one component in which we can render the wildcard route. So for that, I'm going to create a component, ng-generate component, page not found component. Once the component is created, we will add route inside our routes array. So yes, our page not found component is created. I am going to set one message inside this page not found HTML file, and that message is h3 class text center I'll add some margin top 5. Okay. And I'll add message 404 error URL not found. You can add any user-friendly message inside this page not found component. Okay, so I'll go again inside approuting.module.ts file, and here we can add wildcard route. So why we are adding wildcard route? Because once we write any invalid route inside this URL, we are getting error. So to handle this error, we need to add wildcard route. So what it does, the wildcard route is to handle URLs that are not defined in our application. When the router encounters a URL that doesn't match any defined routes, it can redirect to a specific component to handle this situation. So in such a case, a wildcard route can be used to navigate to a 404 page for any invalid route. So for this, we have created page not found component with 404 error message to define wildcard route. So I'll add the object for this wildcard route. This wildcard route path will take to a strict to match every URL, and the component should be page not found. So always remember this 2 asterisk is the symbol of wildcard route. So what it will do, if path is not available in this route configuration, then it will go inside this wildcard route and display or execute page not found component. So just save the changes and go to the browser. Now you can see by default it is rendered inside home component, and if I enter invalid URL and enter, you can see we are not getting any error and our URL is redirected to page not found component. That is why we can see this 404 error URL not found message. So this is how we can handle the invalid path with the help of wildcard route. Also, one more thing we need to remember while using wildcard route. So always we have to place this wildcard route at the end of this routes array, because Angular executes the routes in the order whichever you have added inside this route. So we have added default route first, and then home, about, contact and playlist, and last we have added wildcard route. So it will execute in this order only. If we place this wildcard route at top, then Angular first execute this wildcard route. In that case, if we enter valid URL, then also our application will render on page not found component. So for example, here I have entered home and enter. You can see I am getting 404 error. So similarly, I want to show you one more, like about, hit enter, it is 404. Why? Because it is executing the routes whichever order we have entered inside this routes array. So first we have entered wildcard route. It will check with this route first, and the meaning of this route is if any route is not matching which was entered above this wildcard route, then it will execute. If our application is rendered on page not found component, it will not check the rest of the routes. That is why we need to keep wildcard route always at end. So that's it for this video. In next video, we are going to see the methods of router, that is navigate and navigate by URL. Thanks for watching my video. If you learn anything from this Angular routing series, then please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you. Bye-bye.